Stop scrolling. Look at the image on screen right now. If you have ever lifted your dog's paw and seen this specific rusty red discoloration between the toes, or this crusty coral-like texture on the pads, you are not looking at a dirty dog. You are looking at a biological alarm bell ringing at full volume. Most owners ignore the sound. They hear the slop, slop, slop of their dog licking its paws at 3 a.m. and assume it is a habit, anxiety, or boredom. It is none of those things. It is pain.
The visual evidence of a paw in distress is often dismissed as staining. You see a white dog with reddish-brown fur between the toes, and you think it is just from saliva. While saliva contains porphyrins that oxidize and turn red upon contact with air, the presence of this staining in the interdigital spaces is not normal. It is the result of chronic moisture and inflammation, creating the perfect petri dish for Malassezia pachydermatis. When you see that deep rust color, you are seeing a colony of fungus that has breached the perimeter defenses.
But why does the barrier fail? To understand the paw, we must look at the ground. Every time you walk your dog on a treated lawn, a public park, or a sidewalk sprayed with weed killer, their paws act as highly absorbent sponges. The pads of a dog's foot are highly vascularized and permeable. We have normalized walking our animals through chemical minefields of glyphosate and industrial salts. The dog licks the toxins off, ingesting them, which then disrupts the gut microbiome. Let's go deeper into the anatomy of the disaster. Sometimes the paws don't look red and wet, they look cracked, dry, and hairy. This condition, often called hairy paw pads or hyperkeratosis, looks like bristles growing out of the pad itself. It feels rough, like sandpaper or dry coral. This is a classic sign of a nutrient absorption failure, specifically zinc. The paw is telling you that the machinery required to build healthy skin has run out of raw materials. The most dangerous myth in veterinary dermatology is that some dogs just have allergies. If your dog's paws are swollen, oozing, or have what look like boils between the toes, interdigital cysts, this is the body trying to wall off an infection it cannot fight. Antibiotics kill bacteria, but they do not kill yeast. In fact, by wiping out the beneficial bacteria that compete with the yeast for space, antibiotics often act as rocket fuel for the fungal infection.
We must also address the physical invaders. Grass-awns, commonly known as foxtails, are nature's cruelest arrow. Designed to burrow only one way, forward, these seeds can enter between the toes and migrate up the leg. A paw that looks like it has a small, weeping hole in it is a medical emergency. This is not a rash. This is an entry wound. The body creates a massive inflammatory response to try and dissolve the invader, causing the paw to swell to twice its size.
The frito feet phenomenon requires a hard truth about diet. Yeast feeds on sugar. If you are feeding a kibble that is 40% to 50% carbohydrates, you are essentially feeding the infection. The starch breaks down into sugar. The sugar feeds the yeast. That rusty color on the paws? It is the visual manifestation of a high-sugar diet. You cannot wash away a yeast infection that you are feeding 3 times a day.
Let's talk about the death spiral of the immune system. The skin is the largest organ of the body, and it is the last to receive nutrients. When the body is under attack, it prioritizes the heart, the lungs, and the brain. The skin gets whatever is left. Therefore, a chronic paw issue is a signal that the body is in a state of resource scarcity. That redness is the inflammation of a skirmish being lost.
Now look at the nails. Are the nail beds red? Is there a brown discharge where the nail meets the skin? This is paronychia, and it is excruciatingly painful. This specific presentation often points to autoimmune conditions where the body attacks its own nail beds.
If the claws are sloughing off, stop everything and see a specialist. This is the body rejecting its own tissue.
There is also the unseen danger of winter. If you live in a cold climate, the salts and de-icers used on roads are chemical burn agents. These salts create heat when mixed with water, literally burning the pads. But beyond the burn, there is the toxicity. Ethylene glycol is often present on driveways. It tastes sweet. A dog walks on it, licks the paw, and goes into kidney failure.
So how do we fix this? The protocol involves a three-pronged attack: stop the fuel, kill the pathogen, and heal the barrier. Stop using oatmeal shampoos. They feed yeast. Use a simple, dirt-cheap solution of dilute povidone iodine mixed with water until it looks like weak tea. Soak the paws for 30 seconds. Iodine kills bacteria, yeast, and viruses on contact, but is gentle on tissue.
Finally, we must close the loop on the specific organ connection. Why do so many holistic vets look at the paws and immediately check the liver? That rusty red staining is the oxidation of porphyrins. When the liver is burdened and cannot filter toxins efficiently, the body tries to push these toxins out through the skin and saliva. The paw was never the problem. The paw was the warning light. Don't smash the light, fix the engine.